What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, or just welcome if this is your first time viewing a video by Deshaun Johnson. I am, of course, your host, Deshaun Johnson, and today in this video, with me being an actual VIP kid teacher, I was actually let's just say I was just bored, and I was just trying to see what some other people were talking about VIP Kid on YouTube. And actually, I had got a YouTube suggestion, from this guy in the VIP Kid vault. Okay, and this is his channel. I actually really don't know his name, but what was interesting was what he started talking about actually in his description. And I actually like to go to the description to see if there's any liner notes, any extra details, any clickable links with some resources. You just never know what people will offer, so it's also good to look into that. But some things that he was actually talking about, and when I got this suggestion, of course, the title, VIP Kid Plan for the Termination of Every Teacher, VIP Kid Teacher Blows the Whistle. Okay, so when you watch this video, he's basically, and let me see if I can remember just the gist of it. Basically, what he's actually talking about is how VIP Kid has an alternative plan to pretty much replace every teacher through the use of automation and robotics, and then of course AI, artificial intelligence. So there's this mass, well, I don't know if there's mass hysteria, but there's a level of hysteria that's going on in terms of what is the future of a teacher's job with online teaching. Okay, like first of all, I find this funny because if you really think that certain professions aren't getting replaced, you have another thing coming. Okay, you have another thing coming. No profession is immune to the way that technology is advancing in the direction that it's going right now. And in terms of companies saving absolute a ton of money at this moment in time, VIP Kid included, you have to really kind of be, I'm not going to say wary, but you have to be prepared. You have to be very cognizant. If you're not taking a responsibility to keeping up with the trends that's going on in society and making professional preparations for it, then really that's shame on you. That's shame on you. Companies are going to be companies at the end of the day, and then if they are doing whatever it is that they need to do to save money, allocate money for betterment of their product, with in this case what we're about to get into, what he's talking about with VIP Kid, then that's shame on you for not keeping up with that. And I'm sorry to sound harsh about it, but that's the reality. But some things that he's actually talking about in his liner notes, and let me read this real quick. You, me, and a whole lot of other people are part of the growing surplus population as the unemployment rate rises, never to come down again. Brace yourselves. A cartoon is coming for your TR VIP Kid teacher job. Can't even talk today. So, but in the video, he's actually in referencing the cartoons. He's talking about that the AI would be so sophisticated that it's going to cater. The program is going to cater to the actual special interests, wants, needs of the students, and obviously in a much sharper and responsively timely way than humans can ever possibly do so. So if anybody wants to learn from, let's say, a cartoon of Spider-Man teaching them English, okay, or whatever that kid's interest is, VIP Kid is going to have the technology available to do that. Let me continue to read, and I'll continue to elaborate. I'd be willing to bet that by 2020, demand for language learning will have dropped significantly. AI already allows an English speaker to give a talk on stage into a microphone, and the speaker sound out every sentence in Chinese. That technology is very much so not surprising in the speaker's own voice. Actually, for me personally, I've been wanting to learn a second language such as Spanish or maybe even Japanese, but I mean, the time that I have right now between, my own work, church, just studying a lot, me doing all these online ventures, I really don't have the drive or inclination to actually put time into learning that second language. Now, if I'm forced into a situation where I have to like use a second language because of the area that I'm in or whatever the case may be, then possibly yes. But at this time, while I have a choice, then that's what I'm choosing to do with my time. So if any technology that I could actually speak into and it will actually translate my words for me in real time, you can't lie, that's kind of exciting. I mean, it's kind of excitement. If you have a dismal view about that, yeah, I guess it takes away another, what I call a calculator method. As simple of a technology as calculators are, when they came into the picture, no longer did we still have to use our brains, but not to a much advanced degree, because a lot of the complications that comes with math, a lot of calculators just take care of it. You just need to learn how to use the device. But anyway, I digress. It's the same thing here. You need to just learn how to use the device and not the intricacies that comes with learning a language. In any case, let's continue to read. In such a world where you can wear an earpiece and it translates in real time. Okay, I already just talked about that. By the time they have mastered English fluency, it will be worthless. Every Chinese person will be able to communicate with every American in real time without the need for language mastery. It would be like a person wanting to go for school for radiology or truck driving. AI is quickly supplanting humans in those fields. Okay, now here's some key things that he's actually talking about in regards to the technology as it relates to VIPKid. The first is a lot more data. Okay, there are 3 trends that drive Dino's evolution. He's of course being funny, Dino representing the company. The first line is actually really interesting. The first is a lot more data, the recorded classes. It's something I never even really thought about. With the recorded classes, of course, I'm just thinking it's used to hold the teacher accountable, which in most cases it is, so they can have on record how you actually taught the kid, what went on in the classes. It's evidence, but I never actually thought about that data being used to teach or train whatever artificial intelligence they actually have backed up at AI, right? I mean, in VIPKid. But let's continue to read. VIPKid recorded classes are the lifeblood of the Dino machine learning system. The second thing is vastly more computer power. Okay, this is why VIPKid is in bed with Tencent. I don't even know who they are, but that's good for research. That's why VIPKid is harnessing cloud computing, last breakthroughs in the basic algorithms. When you put the above 3 together, there is a millionfold improvement compared with just a few years ago. What does this mean for you? Your job is gone completely. Okay, your job is gone completely. He goes on in the description, and I'll leave a link to this video here in this video so you can actually read this for yourselves, or you can watch the video in its entirety. But basically, instead of us being teachers, we're being a data contributor. And for the record, as a teacher with VIPKid, once you actually get a system down and you kind of know what the students are expecting and you follow those expectations, everything's pretty routine. Everything's pretty routine, and it can be, a bit mundane at times, but, I still enjoy the connection I have with students, and I look forward to a lot of my regulars, and I look forward to seeing how the kids are improving. So that's a part of the human connection that I do enjoy. So that is a big thing. So now, one of the things I also want to speak about, with that being said, okay, there is an article in Business Insider. Let's look to see what Cindy Me is actually talking about. A 35-year-old who dropped out of high school had a vision of a utopian future for China, the US, and the world, and it's led her to the forefront of a tech startup worth $3 billion. So, of course, if you don't know the story of Cindy Me, she was a high school dropout. She dropped out at the age of 17 in the 11th grade. She had a dispute with her math teacher. Okay, but it was the math teacher had a classroom of 50, and I believe that it details that story here in this article. So I'm just kind of give you some key points that I just remember off the top of my head from reading this article, and I found fascinating. But with that, the one thing I actually learned from this article, and this is very long, but one thing that actually stood out to me from this entire article, okay, from this entire article was just Cindy Me's story and how she's actually taken her experience. She didn't even finish school, and at some point in time when her building VIPKid, she went back and got her master's, if I'm correct about that, and with the somewhere prestigious with, I think it was Yale or something like that. I could be wrong, so that's also detailed in the article. But one thing I'm really fascinated with Cindy Me is how and I'm a big advocate for, is that she's taken her experience and she's leveraged it and tried to figure out, like, okay, what can I actually do with my experience in education and make this into a business and make other people's lives better? How can I turn this something into something bigger? And that's what I'm always trying to convince teachers to actually do. That's my biggest thing. There's a lot of people, a lot of teachers who are leaving education who's frustrated with public education, but I'm like, this is a money pit. There's a lot of profit to be made from public education. You may and snarl and haul at me and whatever, because it's all about the students and their learning, which I agree. But if you're leaving because you're not getting treated fairly, I mean, you have to sometimes see that unfair treatment as opportunity. Now, I think you guys are just leaving a lot of money on the table. Now, I'm not saying that this is all about money or anything like that, but you have valuable, invaluable teaching experience that can be leveraged with you packaging your experience up into a book, maybe not into a tell-all or anything like that, or maybe into a tell-all. I don't know, but just kind of sharing your experience. You could be out there creating a blog. You can sit up here and create like just video courses, put out a movie about, just teaching. There's something that you can do with your teaching experience to serve a greater good. And if you're in a lot of professional developments right now, you can actually see that a lot of the people that's performing or coming, not to perform, but coming to teach those professional developments here in America, usually they're just either teachers that, think they know it all or think they got it all figured out. They've had some educational experience in education, and then now this is what's wrong with teaching. I noticed this gap. This is what I'm doing to fill it. And I don't hate it at all. I've learned from that and saw it, and it just gave me this crazy idea. So, which is why I'm all over the internet myself. But one thing that caught my attention too in this article, let me try to find it real quick here. Okay. Here it is right here. Let me go ahead and read this here. This is a global conversation that has happened and has to happen. Yashi Glass, a 43-year-old high school science teacher, has been teaching for VIPKID since 2016, told Business Insider, with the way technology is evolving, there is no cultural divides anymore. We have a real opportunity to reach people in their homes more than we ever been able to before. As with most gig economy companies, appealing to teachers is as important to VIPKID as drawing in new parents and student customers. Today, many competitors such as 51Talk, Dada ABC, and VIPKID Jr. or VIP Jr. are competing for the same pool of teachers. But VIPKID has a higher valuation and more students than its competitors by most accounts, and is known to place a high value on its teachers and generate fervor among its teacher community. So one thing that VIPKID does really well that maybe some schools here in America still do, but overall as a company, is that they really treat their teachers well, which is why I joke about it almost to a fault, almost to a complaint about teachers just up and jumping ship from the American, system to just go ahead and just like, oh, I'm committing full time with VIPKID. Screw this American public education system. And it's not, you have to really develop an audience, and you're an independent contractor with VIPKID. But a lot of teachers clamor to that because they really know how to treat their teachers. Okay, they really know how to treat their teachers. Other people may not disagree, but a vast majority, that's the unanimous consensus. They really know how to treat their teachers. So there is a large teacher community, and people are, rah rah and cheers more than jeers for VIPKID. Another thing that they also brought up too, though, with the company as it continues to grow, I don't fault Cindy me about this. She has a company to run. She has to continue to grow and continue to keep up with these emerging technologies. But there was a comment here. I don't even know if I could find it right now. Let me see here if I can actually find it. Okay. And it also talks about race and how certain, teachers are, black minority teachers are mistreated, but usually that's not really in because of just being malicious or just outright racist, as America has kind of made minorities to feel, but it's usually just a misunderstanding. But I'm not going to go into that into this video. What I wanted to actually point out is the growth of VIPKID. So one of the things that, as a company is growing, one of the things that a lot of the the difference that's shown between the Chinese society and the American society right now is that there's a stark difference between at this point in time, because America is such under an immense, intense political climate, being divided by these political conversations and personal freedoms, while actual China is more focused on technological advancement, developing their economy, because they've been under some destructive economic situations for so long. So I can completely understand that. But one of the things that with that being said, what Miss Cindy Me is focused on, despite if not if, but when VIP Kid actually goes and starts incorporating more of the automative stuff. Let me read this. This actually is coming from a Medium article. The one-on-one business model has been questioned a lot, as it always companies with a low profit margin, low teacher salary, and high turnover rate. To make more profits, the company has no choice but scale up. So what's involved in that scale up? Automation, investment in AI, maybe hiring more people. I don't know. Let's continue to read. However, with more students, it has to recruit more teachers, which brings the company higher costs. Otherwise, the teaching quality will avoidably decrease. These days, VIP Kid is also facing bemoans from parents complaining the quality of teachers cannot compare with the old days. The increased popularity of the product makes it hard to maintain the same quality level as it does in the past. Besides, with the development of technology and language translation becomes easier and easier, many started to question whether taking time to learn another language is really worth it. How long will the prosperity of VIP Kid and online one-to-one language learning last is still a question. Numerous challenges are waiting for VIP Kid in the future. However, as me said, the sky is the limit. So with what the VIPKID Vault guy, what he was talking about, this content, this information completely supports what he was saying. It completely supports it. Like, as parents or as complaints are constantly rolling in. Another article said that Cindy Me is she pays attention, and it's in that Business Insider article, but she pays attention mostly to the parents that were on a refund and employees, or not employees, but the teachers that want to lead a company. She pays a lot of attention to them because that she calls that being on the front line. But with with emerging technologies like this, I mean, what would you naturally do if you're running a business and you're trying to minimize those costs? And to be honest with you, it just takes, and this is something he talks about in that video too, it does take a human quite a bit of time to learn a certain language, to actually master certain things, to actually be able to do things effectively. It just takes a lot of time. So, I mean, this is something this is something that really should be expected. This is nothing to actually sit up here and get depressed over. Oh, I'm gonna lose my job with VIP Kid. And no, you need to be prepared. I'm not gonna say you need to be prepared to lose your job. I don't even know if that's gonna happen or not. But you do need to make preparations. You need to learn how to diversify. Okay, you need to diversify, and this is part two of a previous video with me kind of hitting on some key points and actually showing you the articles here. I'm going to go in detail and give you some advice on what you can do in order to make that diversity happen.